Let's get some reaction to that game from Barcelona. Here's our correspondent, Phil Kitromilides.
A perfect day for Barcelona, both on the pitch, but perhaps more importantly, off the pitch as well. Getting back to the Spotify Camp Nou is absolutely vital for them. It is the cornerstone of their economic project, and they've had so many economic issues in the past. Being back in a fully functioning Camp Nou, which it wasn't today, it was only 45,000 the capacity, but when they're in the Camp Nou, there's 105,000 people in there. It's going to bring in a lot of revenue, and Barcelona need a lot of revenue. So 45,000 in there today. Everybody got in there okay. Everybody got out there okay. That was important to see that it could all work, and it did. There was a celebratory atmosphere. There were concerts. There were choirs. There were fireworks. Everybody was determined to make this a big celebration, and it was a big deal. And Barcelona on the pitch did their job as well to add to the celebratory atmosphere, because it was an absolutely perfect afternoon. Everything went right. Brilliant for Hansi Flick. A 4-0 win over Athletic Club, a clean sheet. Joan Garcia coming back from injury, and the first clean sheet since he got injured. Don't think that's coincidental. We also saw Rafinha come back from injury as well. 2 world-class assists from Lamine Yamal. Robert Lewandowski scored and was able to be rested as well. Fermin Lopez continues to impress, and a midfield masterclass from Eric Garcia as well. So many positive things for Barcelona in terms of the result, but in terms of also being back home, which is where they were so desperate to be. And also where they're desperate to be is top of the table, where this result leaves them.
Barca, Ian, back home, as we said there. Are they back as a team? Because it's been a fairly inconsistent start to the season by their high standards, given what we saw last season. Do you think now this is the point where they really kick on?
Yeah, 909 days since they've been in their stadium, and I think that's important, getting back to familiar surroundings, albeit a building site still, right? There's a great presence there when you're in that stadium, now called the Spotify Camp Nou. I mean, it's a wonderful arena, and it will be spectacular once it's completed. But I think for Barcelona fans worldwide, Barcelona fans locally, and for the players of Barcelona, being back at their stadium and having a point to prove gives them some sort of an advantage. Yes, I do. I think Hansi Flick obviously understands that this is massively important to have those familiar surroundings. The team looked very, very good. Sanset's red card was ridiculous. Lamine Yamal was absolutely outstanding. Ferran Torres was terrific with his finishing, leading the team now with 9 goals across all competitions, including Lewandowski. It's just fabulous to see, right? Barcelona are a wonderful team. But the question will be, at the end of the day, what happens to them domestically, what happens to them in the Champions League. Hansi Flick, in my personal opinion, still wants that Champions League more than anything else. So this is a big game coming up for them against Chelsea. But I do think domestically, this was hugely important as they continue the battle at the top of the table with Real Madrid. They're back in it. They're now back on top of the table on goal difference, which is wonderful to see. But this team is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's tremendously important to have every single player playing well. And for this game in particular, they were awesome.
Up until this point, though, he has in some ways benefited Hansi Flick by the fact that a few players in that attacking line have been injured. It's made the selection a bit more easy for him.
True.
Rashford was a way out of this game because he had flu, I think. But with Rafinha coming back from injury, he came off the bench. Lewandowski scoring, so many of these attacking players in form. What is his first choice attacking line? Because up until now, he's just been playing the ones who've been fit.
Well, I do think Lamine Yamal is number one that you put in there.
Is there a spot for Rashford, I guess, is my key point?
Probably not when they're fit and healthy. I think the form of Ferran Torres keeps him in the lineup, and it's interesting to see Ferran Torres drop into the left-hand side when Lewandowski played through the middle in this game. Danny almost sitting in behind with Lamine Yamal on the right-hand side. It's hard to argue. I mean, where do you make changes there? Rashford is a great player to bring off the bench, and when you want to rest players, he's a great player to be able to have available to rock and roll. But they've got so many weapons. The question would be not Rashford, it would be, where does Rafinha fit into this team?
Yeah.
Because when Rafinha plays, then either Lewandowski or Ferran Torres probably has to sit out, because then Olmo, I mean, I don't know if you can leave him out in that number 10 position. They've obviously got De Jong to come back into this team as well. There's so many weapons now getting healthy again. Big to have the goalkeeper back from injury. That was massively important. Clean sheet for him. But I do think that the offensive powerhouse that they are, Barcelona, and the style that they want to play, with Rafinha healthy once again, they're going to be very dangerous for every team in European football, and that includes for Chelsea in this next Champions League game, which you can watch across our networks. It's going to be a banger of a game, that one. Great victory, building in confidence, building momentum. Lamine Yamal, outstanding player today.
Let's look ahead to that Chelsea game. How do you think Barca will get on against it? Because Chelsea have been in good form. They're brilliant going forward. They almost play very similar ways. If you look at these two teams, they've got so much pace and power and attacking prowess. For me, I think at the start of the season, if you'd said, right, Chelsea are going to play Barcelona, who's going to win? I would have said Barca are easy, given what we saw last season. But actually, the way they've been playing recently, it's quite hard to call.
Yeah, we're talking about the world champions, don't forget that, right? There was a point being proven in the summer from Chelsea. Not necessarily greatest starts after a very, I would say, quiet or slow, compact pre-season. They didn't have time to even have a pre-season. So Chelsea just slowly starting to get themselves going here. Don't rule them out. They're now second in the table in the Premier League, by the way. Many people are not even talking about Chelsea potentially winning the Premier League. They're 3 points behind Arsenal before their game coming up in the North London derby. So Chelsea are very much in the Premier League race.
And they're doing all that without Cole Palmer.
They're doing that without some of their big players, right? So, listen, I think what Enzo Maresca's done at that football club, I think it was his 50th appearance on the sidelines for Chelsea. Outstanding job from him. I think, in particular, Chelsea, no one's talking about them being a threat in the Champions League. No one's talking about them being a threat in the Premier League. But we'll find out against Barcelona, because this Barcelona is dangerous. They can be nasty when they want to. They can ping the ball around. 650 passes they had accurate in this game. Okay, they had a player up for parts of the second half. But the way Barcelona under Hansi Flick are performing, I do think they're going to get stronger, better, and this game will tell us exactly where they're at. I fancy Barca in that game, you know.
A player we mentioned just there, he came off the bench. Do you think Rafinha starts against Chelsea, or he'll be coming off the bench again?
I think he brings them off the bench. After this performance, Ferran Torres, Olmo, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, I think you potentially go with the same four. I really do. And then you bring Rafinha off the bench if you need him. But if you start him, it would be wonderful to see him back and back banging in goals, especially on English soil again.